a short break. Now we have a workshop on sustaining competitiveness and responsible enterprises by Mr. Piyush Kumar. Mr. Piyush is the Director of Productivity Management Group. He is a mechanical engineer with more than 31 years of experience as a management consultant and trainer for various business excellence models. A black belt in Lean Six Sigma, he holds high proficiency in institutionalizing business processes in various industry sectors. He has consulted with government, large, medium, and small business organizations in the field of quality, energy, environment, safety, asset management, and lean. Piyush's services have been used as an expert with UNIDO and ILO SCORE program in India. SCORE stands for Sustaining Competitiveness and Responsible Enterprises, which is based on the concepts of lean. He has trained trainers and MSMEs in India, Africa, and the South American region. Currently, he is collaborating with Amazon in their supply chain in India. Let me welcome Mr. Piyush for his workshop on sustaining competitiveness and responsible enterprises. Over to you, Mr. Piyush.
Thank you very much, Aparna. Thanks to GCPIT to offering me this opportunity to share this great program which has been brought out by ILO. By no means I am with ILO, but yes, I'm an independent consultant and have been training on this program, a unique training approach which has been brought out by ILO globally about 10 to 12 years back. It all started in India in 2011 when I joined this program as a trainer, and thereafter it is that I've been training MSMEs across India. This program is primarily aimed at SMEs for people working like 50 to 400 people kind of an organization. So let me run you through this whole program concept. What is it and how does it work? So the brief presentation would be built on these 5 things, which is visible on the screen. As we have been hearing, the global supply chain challenges of price competition, or there is a distance between buyers and suppliers, so poor working conditions. So this is something which is affecting the supply chains, and especially in COVID times also there has been effect. This program aims to see that these challenges are overcome by their suppliers in the supply chain. As the program name suggests, it's all about building productivity or competitive, making the MSME competitive and making them responsible. So our role as a trainer facilitator is more to sensitize the MSME to adopt the best international practices in the sector that they are working, right? So it's a capacity building program where experts like us who would be from different sectors would engage with the MSME, train them, and see that the working conditions improve, their practices improve, their systems improve, they become productive and competitive for the world. If you see the slide, I am based out of India and cater to Indian operations. But if you look across the globe, there are several countries where this program is being run by ILO. Trainers are being trained in those countries. But what I wanted your attention on this is that this program works with MSMEs across all the sectors. You would find tourism, you would find agriculture, you would find garment, you will find construction. So if you read through this, several countries, several sectors, the whole principle, whole basis of this program cuts across all the sectors. So where does SCORE fit in into the whole supply chain? As the slide suggests, it is here where the factory there improving the cooperation between the workforce. And all of you would appreciate that almost in any company, 85% would be the workforce working on machines or working with the products, handling products. The rest 15 to 20% would be the management side. And this program will cut across all the hierarchies and would make them sit together, find problems, and jointly solve problems. So that is where this program intervenes in supply chains. The big question which is being discussed this evening is why SMEs? Technically, when we get into the factories, we find a high failure rate, off the compliance, poor working conditions, and low productivity, which is affecting all, not only their industry, but also the buyers. So this program has a practical training, and an in-factory counseling. So we as trainers, first of all, engage with the MSME, train them in a workshop, and then continue to engage them on site, telling them with the practices and facilitating them with the practices. Good part is that all the trainers are first of all tutored. So there is a training of trainers where we ourselves, howsoever good experts we are on lean concepts or any of the world concepts, but we are subjected to training to orient ourselves to this program, which has got a human side, a major human side in this program. It is working on a modular approach. Like the workplace cooperation is a mandatory module where every MSME who is adopting this program has to come together to put the basic fundamental things in place which will lead to workplace cooperation. Imagine if there is no workplace cooperation, there is no teamwork between the people, between the worker, supervisor, and managers. It becomes difficult to adopt good practices because there is a lot of conflict which could exist there, and those conflicts are managed through a dialogue process which is inbuilt into the program. So different modules. After the workplace cooperation module, the enterprises have an option to pick up any module and go in with quality or workforce engagement or lean manufacturing and health and safety. In this COVID times, this has been put onto the priority agenda and was put forth in most of the MSMEs in India and across. So how does this training process work? So first of all, we do a diagnostic assessment as a part of engaging with the MSME. We do a half day kind of a baseline assessment. There is the as is condition, their current conditions. And in there we gather data in terms of what is their current practices, what are their current data collection methods, and so on and so forth. So current assessment gives us as a trainer a good roadmap to build. And then we do a 2 day interactive group training, and that's a kind of a classroom training where we have a diverse group. We call a diverse group to attend to this training, which would mean, uh, am I audible? Some sound in between.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, there's
Perfect.
some sound in between. So the interactive group training would have people represented from workers. Say if we are training about 10 people or 5 people, so 50% should be workers and 50% should be from staff, representing gender, representing migrants. So a diverse group is called for this training from every enterprise, and they are then trained on the subject, relevant module subject. And then after the 2 day training, they go back with an agenda to their site, and then they start implementing they start taking small steps under our guidance as trainers. And then there is an ongoing monitoring and impact. So about 3 to 6 half day enterprise visits are there, scheduled at almost 2 to 3 weeks gap. Capacity building happens, and very important dimension here is that between the visits also the trainer is remotely coaching the enterprise to handhold them and see that the voice of people is heard at every level. You see, when organizations are small, it is very easy to manage for the owners and managers, because then you are the owner of the company and you have 40, 50, 60 people in front of you, and direct communication is there. But the moment you start growing, you grow 150 people organization, 250 people organization. What happens is then the management creeps in. The middle layer, the moment it creeps in, there is a communication gap which starts building up between the owner and the worker, and many things do not flow in this process as a result, which results into loss of productivity. Uh, the training features, as I told, it involves workers. It is based on the lean manufacturing methods of the world class used by the world class corporations. And we have seen that situations of workers become better by this collaborative approach. I mean, I am yet to come across any organization where I would have trained, or I have, where the score has been rolled out in India by other trainers also, where the owners, the workers, and the middle management did not feel satisfied. In fact, Globally, if I look at the statistics, more than 85 to 90% of the organizations have given their satisfaction score while working with the score on the score program. So if you look at the whole program methodology, it's a win-win situation where SME owners they create a culture. They create a culture of improvement where the improvement teams are established and they work locally in their respective operational areas, in their respective machines. Whereas the middle management works upon to build up the systems so as to see that there are less losses because of communication and collaboration. So SME owners gain a lot, and I mean I'll show you some example also. The workers, their issues get addressed in this process because many a times we've seen that the workers on the floor have issues with the equipment, they have the issues with the safety, and they do communicate with the supervisors and middle management, but somehow it gets filtered and does not reach the decision makers, and vice versa. Decision makers are wanting something to be communicated right to the worker level. So lack of data, lack of transparency, lack of trust, all this gets settled when we have a collaborative approach of workers, middle management, and staff. And as I said in the beginning, it's a diverse group which works. So women workers are participating, migrant workers, if there are in the factory, communities, different community people, if they get represented. So every either a community or women or men or migrants, they have their own localized issues while working in the factory itself. So when the team collectively discusses the issues and they try to jointly solve the problems, many such problems get resolved. And for the buyers, it's always good, not only from the compliance, but also they have a very big reputational risk which is taken care of by evolving such suppliers in their supply chain. It's a well-researched program based on socio-economic research, and a lot of experience and technical assistance goes into it to improve the working conditions by modern management practices, and enterprises become better at what they do. So whatever they're doing, I've seen in MSMEs, since they lack a lot of data, so they don't even know how much of the losses they would be making. Just capturing the data in the right form helps them a lot to improve. And the moment that data is shared with the right person, the worker who is producing on the machine, they themselves take initiatives and ensure that all those kind of rejections or delays, those do not happen. So right at the lowest level of the problem, you resolve the problems, and that's the wonderful part of this program. So this training, on one hand, upgrades human capital. On the other hand, it upgrades the production processes. That makes it enterprise becomes better at what they do, and productivity gains and working conditions also happen in such organizations. So it's been working successfully in, I think, more than 25 countries right now. I work in India, and I've been training trainers in South Africa, Zimbabwe, whenever there is a need by the international the other countries, whenever they need, I go there and train under guidance of ILO. What are the benefits for brand and lead buyers? It boosts their supply performance. A lot of reliability is there on their supply chains. And once their suppliers are profitable and productive, it gives a lot of satisfaction to them also. And you can see the kind of, when we enter the organization, sad, long faces, and the moment they start participating, they start working, the cheer on the each and every worker is there where they participate, they feel participated. And in India, we had through our other trainers and myself, we're working right now. I'm working on Amazon supply chains in India. There are other trainers who are working, Tafe Tractors, Mahindra. Globally, there have been large brands which in other countries and other trainers across the globe would have catered to H&M, Gap, Canon, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, LG, and so many big giants in their supply chains to start with. Uh, just before I get into the impact part of it, benefits of SMEs, as I said, is higher productivity, a better working condition, and low cost improvements. As a part of the training, it is the ideas that people capture, the worker, the team which gets trained. They capture the ideas of what improvements we can do in our factory, at our workplace, at our machine, in our system. And when they capture the idea, half the problem is resolved because they know how to solve it, how to implement it also. As a result, most of the improvements that we have seen in implementing SCORE is all low cost improvements, doesn't require investments. In fact, the whole premise of this program is that we can adopt high-ended technology. We can invest into high-end technology, but at the base of it, at the bottom of it, it is the people who are going to run it. So why not build the capacities of people so that even if in the future of work, the higher end technologies are adopted by the MSMEs, at least we prepare the workforce much better, and alert them that these are the changes which are likely to come in future. As a result, they are well prepared also to adopt newer technologies. This has been a global impact, which we have seen. Almost 65% of the enterprises have reported cost savings and 40% on waste reductions, and so on and so forth. You can see a lot of worker complaints have gone down, 26%. Energy consumptions have come down. I mean, 27% of the enterprises have reported that their energy bills have gone down. So I'll just run you through one of the case examples that I dealt with when I started with SCORE in India. You can see the images, how the changes happen when you engage people. So when we started the module one, a lot of space utilization went up. In this organization, which is more cluttered, when we engaged with them, workers started doing 5S and other activities. Then we went into the quality module, and the whole level of customer satisfaction went up. A lot of Kaizen started happening. I mean, this is a supplier to JCB, and by the quality module, they started monitoring, displaying information. Half the times you find that the customer problems are not even reported to the workers where the problems get originated. And as a result, all those small practices are put into place, and productivity gains are seen in this form. uh, Energy savings, it may be a small amount for them, but then this was like monthly savings for them, but by just knowing that we can improve the power factor. So technical assistance is given to them on the shop floor. Another important thing in MSMEs you'll find is a lack of HR policies. So big time we have seen that the good practices of HR are not there in the MSMEs. So module 4 here helps them to strategize on HR. And the last, which is health and safety, it is also costing a lot of losing a lot of productivity on health and safety issues with workers. So by engaging them on health and safety concepts technically onto the shop floor. Now industry to industry it varies. You can get a chemical industry to a metal framing industry to a garment industry, so the nature of hazards could be different. And that's how, by employee participation, you can see a lot of improvements happening in the factories through the Cisco program. By now, you would have related that by this involvement of SCORE program, since this discussion is on SDGs, it impacts on primarily 4 SDGs and in turn indirectly on many other SDGs. ILO is the custodian for SDG8, as we all know, and we've been discussing this in the preliminary part of the panel discussions also. So this program has been brought out by ILO, and we work on the given standard, the given training to us as trainers who are certified trainers, and only those certified trainers are training the enterprises. It brings in the concept of gender, it brings in the concept of innovation and small improvements within the industry, and also responsible consumption and production, as you would have noticed in some of the impact slides which you would have seen here. So this program is working worldwide. I was hearing the panelists, Indrani, Michelle, and other panelists who were discussing what are the other options with the MSMEs. And I tell you that technically on the shop floor, this could be one of the options which you can consider while working with your supply chain on the supplier side, or even if you're an MSME, you can consider it for your own organization. all I've seen is the cost involvements that are there. One is able to reap all those benefits, and return of investment is within the first few months that you invest into this program. It has been designed for MSMEs and tailored to suit their needs with respect to their sector. So I am done. In case there are any questions, I'll be happy to take it up. Thank you
Thank you
very much,
so much.
Aparna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Piyush, for that excellent session. And thank you so much for explaining about the SCORE program by ILO. I think you are doing an amazing job. I think we have a lot to do together, and looking forward to working with you in the future as well. Now we'll take a short break.